Scharnhorst. Capital ship of such strange design. People still arguing whether she was a battleship or a battlecruiser. But what can be said for sure is that she's an absolute menace and a face of War Thunder naval mode. One might even call her a queen of War Thunder naval. Added as one of the first modern capital ships in the game, she quickly dethroned things like Hyuga, and until this very day since her addition, she holds the first place as the not really arguably best ship in the game. As always, if you like this sort of content and would like to be notified of my next videos, consider clicking the subscribe button, it costs you nothing and helps my channel a lot, plus you will know when I upload new videos. Back to the video. But first, a little bit of history as always. She was designed and built as the first modern battleship for Germany after the Great War. Her arrival marked the beginning of Germany's naval rearmament after the Treaty of Versailles. She and her sister followed a similar concept as Mogami-class cruisers in the Imperial Japan, that is having initial design with smaller caliber guns, 283mm to be exact, to be later replaced with bigger and more powerful 380mm cannons found on, for example, Bismarck class. Unlike in Mogami class case, that never happened for Scharnhorst and Gneisenau. And to be completely honest, for such a short service time, she achieved quite some impressive feats, scoring the longest naval hit on HMS Glorious, showing Allies middle finger with channel dash. Not to mention, her last battle is worth a whole separate video, and I highly encourage you to read or watch a documentary about the Battle of the North Cape. And that is just about a ship that was designed to pretty much counter cruisers and not be a threat to other battleships. Back to the game description. Playing consciously Scharnhorst is like hooking up with that one hot ex. You know you shouldn't, and it will leave you with a foul aftertaste in the mouth, but damn if she isn't great in bed and makes it feel like it's all worth it. I really mean it. She, Scharnhorst, not the ex of course, is just OP. You can't really sum her up otherwise. Starting with her most prominent part, armor, because for some reason Germany opted for going with armor and speed in case of battlecruisers and not the guns and speed as the rest of the world when it comes to the naval design and doctrine of using and implementing battlecruisers. 320mm of main belt in turtleback layout, meaning you somehow have more protection than thicker belts of all or nothing armor schemes of US battleships, for example. But that's just a War Thunder and pretty much World of Warships 2, where turtleback is better than all or nothing. You basically cannot be detonated consistently, besides Japanese battleships or pretty much other Scharnhorsts. Everything else can and will struggle against you, making you the most powerful brawler when it comes to battleships. Plus, your turrets are almost unbreakable, your superstructure is made of, I don't know, probably adamantium and holds little to no crew, compared to the snuggle engine base or compartments that are hiding behind the aforementioned armored belt. Your presence in the game will either be ignored because it's too much of a hassle to fight you, or you will be target of the whole enemy team. And to couple your superb survivability, you are fast. Not crazy fast, but still one of the fastest capital ship in the game. But wait, there is more. You wanted speed, you get speed and maneuverability to add to that. So don't worry, you're not only a brawler, but a flanker and a vanguard too. 59 km per hour, great turning rate and armor, that equals you being the ultimate threat. But I enter, so maybe the guns suck. After all, they are the smallest guns found on a capital ship, being only 283mm, so they are basically the same as on the heavy cruisers like Graf Spee or the earlier battle cruisers like Von der Tann. Well, my dear viewer, think of them as Chihuahua that somehow was bred from Husky and Chihuahua. A body of Chihuahua, but the bite and courage of Husky. You are not all bark and no bite, quite reverse, you are no bark and all bite. It's probably due to Gaijin and their implementation of volumetric shells, so although it shows you have only 579mm of flat armor penetration from point blank, so on paper it's way worse than other battleships of comparable performance, be it Kronstadt, Kongo or Hood, you are somehow the best of them all. If their shells won't penetrate the target, you can best bet you can deal damage. There's only two explanations, black hole physics or sorcery. To couple that magic guns, you get 7 kilograms of explosives and 22 seconds of base reload, 17 seconds with ace crew, thus being the fastest guns on the battleships and the battle cruisers. When it comes to fire rate, only Kronstadt and the Japanese battleships equipped with 410mm cannons can match you, but you still be a bit slower. Again, either the crew is loaded with pervitin and are lifting cars as their main gym workout, or there's some kind of sorcery involved. There's no either explanation. To make you even more deadly, you get access to torpedoes. They maybe aren't on par with Japanese long lances, but they are fast, and since you are fast and tanky too, you can just go into close quarters and launch them at other battleships, securing you a simple kill when you cannot do it otherwise. As always, modern AA when it comes to battleships is powerful. Mostly nothing will come close enough to you to attack you, or the attack will fail because of aerial torpedoes sitting at 1 meter depth, hitting your main belt, or bombs just exploding on your deck dealing minimal damage. If you're still concerned, you get almost 2000 men aboard, so don't worry about running out of crew fast. In normal random battles, you mostly don't need to worry about your enemies. The ones you might watch out are things like Congo, which can use that Type 91 AP shell and deal a lot of damage to you, or things like other Scharnhorsts, which, as with the aforementioned magic guns, they can fight with you as equals. Other than that, your biggest enemy is distance. You might think that being at a longer distance is good, because you get to utilize your superior armor, but you'd be wrong. Because your guns are small, that means you lose a lot of penetration over distance, whereas your enemies not so much. To couple that off, long distance means shells landing not on your thick and sturdy main belt, but on your flimsy in comparison deck, which can cause an unwanted combustion in shell room, and you'll quickly change from Scharnhorst class capital ship to Scharnhorst class submarine, which is not really optimal and suggested. So close that distance fast and start throwing those quick punches and you'll be fine most of the time. Overall, Scharnhorst is a disgusting ship in my opinion. She holds the throne since her launch for a reason, even though we have ships in the game that should easily dethrone her but don't, due to probably Gaijin liking the status quo that we have, compromising more potent vehicles in favor of old meta. Selling with Scharnhorsts, even bad players can be good and good players can be even better. But is it worth risking being the most hated player in the match? That's only for you to decide. Yet the Queen is eternal, and it doesn't seem that there'll be any change even with addition of the most powerful ships to the game like Bismarck.